She is okay. I think it's harder to be an entrepreneur in Poland. I took it and yeah, I moved to China. It was a great experience.
Yeah. What are the odds that you're gonna meet an Ukrainian wife in China?
I thought that I will get to China and they will take my organs or something. I was doing good in China, to be honest. Chinese grammar is super simple. Okay.
Sorry. We'll cut it out, yeah. It's okay.
Thank you too.
Hola muchachos, ni hao. Today I'm joined by my friend Josh from Colombia. Josh has lived across 3 continents, he experienced 3 different cultures, and now he's here to tell me his story. First of all, thank you for joining me, Josh.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
And I think the first question is, why the hell did you choose China? I mean, Colombians usually go to America, maybe
Spain.
Spain, yeah, like la pura vida.
Yeah, exactly.
But why China?
Well, as a kid, I was really crazy about Jackie Chan movies.
Oh,
I used to watch them a lot with my father, and I thought that one day I should go to this place. I should experience myself the whole culture, the language, and everything. When it came, when the opportunity arrived, I took it, and yeah, I moved to China. It was a great experience.
yeah, and what was the first thing you were doing in China?
So there is an organization called ISEC, and they have a program, a global program, where you apply, and they have different options, different programs across the globe. And there was a program for China, and the idea was that I was going to support as an assistant teacher position in China in some boarding school, very far in some village in China. I was scared at first, but I thought it's gonna be a good opportunity. I didn't know any Chinese.
Yeah.
I'm native Spanish speaker, so English is not my first language, but still, I learned as a child. I thought, okay, I'm ready for the challenge, and yeah, and I moved to China with this program, and I was scared because I thought it was a scam. I
Yeah,
thought,
that's the problem.
yeah, I thought that I will get to China and they will take my organs or something. But
I've heard some stories like
yeah,
that.
yeah, it can be dangerous. But I was lucky, I was lucky. God protected me, and I was there. First time I was there, I was for like 7 months.
7 months.
Yeah.
And then for how long did you stay in like the whole duration in China?
So after 7 months, I came back to Colombia, and then the second time I was there, I stayed for over 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, more than 3 years. So altogether, it was like 4 years experience in China. Yeah.
So in this 4 years, you managed to speak Chinese.
Yes. So the first time I was there, I actually there is a story. I was going from the airport in Hong Kong to mainland China. Like Hong Kong and China are like the same country but two different systems. So you have to cross the border, and in Hong Kong there was a friend who helped me to get into the taxi to mainland. But then once I was in the taxi, nobody spoke English, so it was only Chinese. It was really scary. It was really scary because and they were asking me with translator like, "What are you doing in China?" And then I was reading, "Oh, I'm gonna work in a school," and they were like, "Are you crazy? But you don't speak Chinese."
Yeah.
Yeah, it was scary. But then I thought, okay, I will never learn this language. It's so difficult, right? But after I came back to Colombia, I took some books with me, some textbooks, and then I started studying myself, like self-studying. Then I realized it's not that difficult as I thought. And I saw that many Colombians that were there and people from different countries, they spoke Chinese. So I thought, okay, if they can do it, why can't I? So then I started learning myself.
So you basically learned Chinese on your own. You didn't hire any teachers.
So at first, to let's say the basics, I did it myself. But then when I went to China the second time, I hired a private teacher. So we're doing one-to-ones on cafeterias and coffee shops. And she was teaching me for a little over 2 years. And she was a very amazing teacher. She taught me everything I know. And I managed to pass there is in Chinese, there is the HSK exam,
Okay.
which stands for Hanyu Shuiping Kaoshi, which means level of Chinese proficiency, let's say. And I managed to pass the HSK4, which is like B2 equivalent to.
Wow.
Yeah, I was
Chinese, man. That's
Yeah.
really impressive. And what do you say that stood out for you in China, like the culture? How, let's say, I assume that from from Colombia to China is something like two different worlds.
Yeah, it was. I mean, first thing I noticed as a Colombian was the safety, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, for us Colombians, safety is a big issue, and that's why many of us, once we live abroad, it's very difficult that we come back to Colombia, you know, to because we are concerned about this. Colombia is not. It's amazing. It's a beautiful country. I recommend it to travel. But for us Colombians, it can be, you know, not so safe, right? We have many challenges there, and we have to be open about this, right? Um, yeah, but safety for sure in China. The culture, it was amazing, and especially how Chinese they when they put their minds to something, they do it. You know, I don't know if you've seen the stories of when they build a skyscraper in 30 days, or they fix a road in one night. You know, so I used to live in a 30 stories building. I was living at the top, and the street next to my building it was completely destroyed when I arrived. And the first week in China, the next day, I saw it all the machines arrived, and I thought, oh, okay, they're gonna repair the street. If it's like in Colombia, that's gonna take like 2 months, and it took them one night to fix the whole street. You know?
One night.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Next day, it was like cars were like driving normally, and everything was perfect. You know. So the efficiency, the Chinese efficiency, it's crazy.
Mm. And you were teaching English for the whole period of your stay in China.
Yes, it was English, Spanish.
Also Spanish.
Yeah, also Spanish. Some I was supporting some kid, and it was like basic English, right? It wasn't anything advanced. It was to primary school students, you know. Um, but the first time was difficult because they assigned you a Chinese teacher to help you in the classroom to translate for you because you cannot communicate with the kids, right? So this assistant teacher will translate for you, but there's still some things that are lost in translation, right? Um, the second time I was there, I was also doing this kind of program, but I already learned when I started learning Chinese. I was like translating for myself, you know. So I was like, I don't need to just go go away, and I'll do it myself. And it was great. That was actually helped me to learn Chinese to communicate with kids.
Yeah, because when you start communicating with kids, you will use simple words, and then that's
Exactly.
how you build up your vocabulary.
Exactly. Yes, and you know, spending a lot of hours in the classroom with kids, and talking to their parents about their progress in the language. You want to, you know, you want to also get respect the culture and try to throw some Chinese words when you're talking to them, and it works. Like by the time you start learning and repeating, and you learn. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how you achieved your like B2 in Chinese.
Exactly. That was 6 years ago, of course. Like right now, I'm a bit rusty, but yeah,
But you still manage.
I still
You still
managed. Yeah.
manage. And the for the work day in China, is it 8 hours, a typical work day like in Europe, or it's 12 hours or more?
So they don't really care about the hours because they care about the efficiency, right? They care about doing the task. So there is a concept called Jojo, which stands for 996. So it means that Chinese work from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week, right?
Wow.
Yeah, but that's like the normal. Some people even work more because they don't really care about the schedule. They care about making money, basically,
That's
being
all.
efficient. Yeah, that's all. So that's something to consider for, let's say, developing countries like Colombia or Algeria, where people sometimes, I don't know about your country, but in Colombia, people really want sometimes to take a day off, you know, to chill. They care. They complain like, oh, 2 hours is too much, 8 hours is too much. But Chinese don't care about the hours. They care about, you know, making money and completing the task. That's
That's
it.
all.
That's
That's
all.
the
Yeah.
goal. As long as they achieve something for the benefit of the community.
Exactly, because most of them they work in commission, you know. So these factories that you contact when you buy something from China, they work on commission. So the more they work, the more commission they get, and the better their families will be at the end, right? The more money they will have. So
They have a better incentive to
exactly,
say.
yeah, exactly.
And during your stay in China, how was your, let's say, social life?
Mm, so it was challenging, you know, because the language. I was talking mostly with foreigners, other foreigners, Ukrainians, Europeans, Russians, Americans, English, British. Yeah, that also helped me to improve my English, you know, because I was mostly interacting with foreigners. Then when I managed finally to learn Chinese, I started like meeting more friends in Chinese. I landed a job in a company where we were selling through Amazon on the U.S. In the U.S. Sorry, and all my colleagues were Chinese. So in the office we had to speak Chinese. It was a disaster at first, but after 2 weeks I even didn't notice that I was speaking Chinese the whole day. So it was great. Yeah.
And I guess that's how you met your wife.
Yes, yes.
Can you
I
tell me how did you meet? Was it like through an event or you were working in the same company?
we work in the same company.
Yeah, that's
That's a classic,
that's
right?
classic, typical American movie
Yeah,
story.
yeah. So we worked in the same company, and she was also doing a different program, but in the same company. Then hanging company parties, events, and spending time together. Maybe there was no other option for her because okay, she thought like, okay, I'll give him a
Give it a
chance.
chance. You
Yeah,
know that what are the odds that you're gonna meet an Ukrainian wife in China?
yeah,
That's really like I don't know, it's like God's plan.
yeah.
He has
It
plan
is.
for you.
It is.
And how did you know that she's the one? Because I know that having a girlfriend is one thing, but like getting married is a
Yeah,
big decision.
it is. It's a huge decision. I don't know. I just knew it. You ask this question to many people, and they will tell you some amazing stories. And for me, I just felt in my heart that this was the person I want to spend the time, my life with. She's amazing. Basically, she's my best friend. So we connected as friends.
Yeah.
She's a person that you can, like, if you see that your wife or your girlfriend or person you're dating, she supports you, no matter what, right? She wants you to grow. She wants you to be better. Then that's the one, right?
Yeah, that's the best life companion you can ever have.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and you are really a nice guy, man. So I know that you deserve the best.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then you had a child with her.
Mhm.
Did it happen in China or
So after 4 years in China, we moved to Poland.
Poland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We first moved to Ukraine. We got married in Ukraine.
How
A
much time did you spend in Ukraine?
couple of months. It
Couple of
wasn't
months.
much. It wasn't much.
So you just moved there for to
Y-
get married.
To get married and to decide where to go. We thought that we should go to Colombia or stay in Ukraine. We're considering Colombia or Ukraine basically because these are our countries. Then I saw a master program in Poland, and I was doing the math like, okay, how much it costs, how is the job market in Poland, is it good for foreigners, and compared to, for example, Spain, that they also have, of course, very nice master programs. I realized that Poland offers very advantageous prices, right? So for my masters, I think I paid maybe 2,000 euros per semester, something like that. So the whole masters was like less than 10K euros, which for me, of course, it's a very important thing because I was paying for myself. So yeah, I saw the program. I saw that Poznan. We are in Poznan now. I saw that Poznan has a very low unemployment
Employment
rate.
rate.
Yeah, so yeah, that was my decision.
And you choose studied in Polytechnica Poznanska. Oh,
No, I studied in the economics university
oh, in Poznan.
in Poznan. Yeah.
Oh, cool, cool. I thought you studied in
No.
Polytechnica because most people they study in Polytechnica
Yeah.
because it's very popular.
Yes, yes, it's very popular. But my cousin studied there.
Yeah.
Later, I convinced my cousin to come and to study there.
So you see, so you're planning to bring the whole family here.
Exactly.
Okay. And then I want to know how do you compare the job markets in China and in Poland?
Um, I will say that here they're more open to foreigners.
Really?
Yes, in my opinion, of course. Everything that I'm saying is my opinion.
Mhm.
I can be wrong, of course. They are more open to foreigners here because of the language barrier, I think. Because here with English, we can access to the job market, right? We can
Mhm.
work in multinational corporations, and yeah. In China, Chinese is required. So that's
100%.
yeah, that's a huge barrier for most foreigners. You need to have very good Chinese, and you need to compete with other Chinese, which they are smart already. And they are a lot of them. There are a lot of them, so it's difficult.
And they've been through the ringer, like they say. They've been tested.
Exactly.
They are battle hardened.
Yeah.
So they know what they need to do, and they can spend the restless night just to achieve
Exactly.
whatever they want. In Poland, I think it's more. You have work-life balance for sure.
Yes, that's
You
true.
have your 8 hour work day, and you have the weekend, and you have your break, which is very good.
Yeah.
But in terms of salaries,
Mm,
what would you say?
well, I was doing good in China, to be honest.
Better than Poland?
At some point, it was better. When I moved and I got my first job here, I was like, oh my God, I was doing double in China. What am I doing here?
Yeah.
But you need to be patient here. Things in countries like Poland, they take time to achieve.
Mhm.
In China, it feels like things are going faster because technology is going faster. The jobs are different. So I was doing, as I mentioned, I was teaching, but that was for a couple of years. Then I started doing, I was taking people, Spanish speakers from different countries,
Yeah.
and I was helping them to buy, to visit different factories and to buy different products for their companies, basically like sourcing for their companies back in Latin America. So I was doing like translation job and also like tourist guide and everything like this. It was good. It was good for me. I managed to do well, but then there were some issues and I had to stop. But then when it comes to Poland, I think it's harder to be an entrepreneur in Poland, in my opinion, than in China. But things here are like going slower, but then they're more stable. I feel like once you build something, it lasts longer for us foreigners in countries like this.
Yeah, because in order to start a business in Poland, you cannot start it on Carta Pobito.
Exactly.
So you need to have the permanent one. And in order to have the
Exactly.
permanent one, you need to be living here at least for 8 years,
Exactly.
which is a big hindrance for immigrants. Whereas if you like you said, if you go to China, maybe you can start it like day one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
US, same thing with the US.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe not, let's say you all have all the documents in day one, but
Yeah,
then
but
you can already start doing something, right? You can already start offering your services. In countries like Poland, I think it all depends on the person, right? If you have the right skills, then you can do anything anywhere,
yeah,
right?
you can make anything happen.
Exactly.
A
Yeah.
magician.
But sometimes, I was very young. You have to be honest with yourself, right? Like when you're young, you're dumb. You're not that experienced. You're not that smart. So you make mistakes, and it's okay.
And we learn from our mistakes.
Exactly. We learn from the mistakes. Yeah.
Do you think that Poland is a good country to raise a family, to have kids?
I think so. I think so. I really like this country because of this, because I feel that it offers a great opportunities for families to raise the kids. Kids are safe here. Women are safe. Streets are clean. You don't see you don't see that like insecurity in the streets. You don't see that many like say homeless or people begging for money. That means that you can still see it
But it's like small portion.
small portion compared to other countries. Like if I compare to Colombia, for example, where it's crazy. I was there this year in April, and in every traffic light, you will have a bunch of people asking for money, like begging, kids begging. You don't see these things here, right? There are a lot of job opportunities. You know, so even if you don't like, if you even make the minimum wage, you can still make a good life with this. A decent life
A
in
decent
Poland.
life, yeah.
In countries like Colombia with a minimum wage, it's very hard to that you live and you have a decent life with this.
It's the same thing in Algeria.
Okay.
Like the minimum wage is like 200 euros.
Okay.
And then you have to pay rent, like which is 100 something euros. And then you have how much? You have like 50 euros left to just
Exactly.
to feed your family and
Yeah.
maybe travel. Maybe it's a big
Maybe.
maybe.
Yeah.
Because in order to travel, you need to apply for a visa. And you know how it is. It's like it takes 2 months. But now I think for Colombia, you can travel European countries
European Union, yes.
without the
Without visa.
yeah. So you're lucky. For us, it's like a whole different level.
Yeah.
It's like almost the same. It's tedious, same as Carta Pobito.
Mm-hmm.
Like you apply, you wait, maybe there is big maybe. You have these documents.
Yeah.
You see.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
so that's why for most Africans, they just want to come to any European countries so they can at least get the residency card and they can become free.
Yeah.
Like, basically regain their basic human right to
Yeah, yeah.
travel wherever I want.
Yeah, exactly.
See,
It should be like that. It should be.
it'd be like that, but who knows why? Because
Yeah.
of war, because of different like political issues,
Mhm.
you cannot get everything quickly.
One thing that I like to remind myself is that like there are issues with the countries, right? Like you have different uh, should I stop?
No, why did they start?
Because they're talking about
What did they say? What did they say?
that they were recording. Przepraszam? Przepraszam? What? She is okay? She's okay.
Sorry. Oh, we'll cut it out. Yeah, it's okay.
Thank you too.
So, after we got interrupted in our first family location, we came to another one. So let's continue. We were talking about the visa process for from my country, Algeria, and in general North African countries, and from your country.
Yes, and I was mentioning that for Colombians, we don't need visa for Europe, for European Union. Yeah, so that's why recently you can see a big number of Colombians coming to Poland to work in different like factory jobs or things like that. I think it's due to first like we have cultural similarities to Poland due to like Catholicism. Yeah, we were a Spanish colony for such a long time, and also because yeah, we are willing to do any job for money basically. So,
As long as you get out from Colombia.
yeah,
And how would you compare like the church there and here? Is it the same type?
it's the same.
The
It's
same?
the same. Yeah, the same kind of because I think the Catholic Church is universal. So the same thing that they're praying here, they are doing the same in Colombia, everywhere in the world. So for us, it's just the same.
But you're doing it in Spanish and they are doing it in
Exactly. The only thing that changes is
Polish.
the language. Yeah, Spanish and Polish.
That's very good. I think that's why you feel like it's such a good country to raise your kid.
Yes, yeah, we were talking about that. Yeah, it's a good country for kids, for women especially. I feel like women and kids are like very protected here. You know, like you know, you can see videos on the internet about like Poland has the lowest
Crime rate.
crime rate and raping rate, and like all this kind of um, indexes. You know, Poland is always like in a really good position. So for women and for kids, it's amazing. You know.
Do you think it's due to their, let's say, strict immigration laws?
Yeah, it's actually very difficult to, you know, you have experienced yourself how it is to the whole bureaucracy to get your documents here, right? You have to wait for a long time. If you want to get a like a citizenship, you have, you know, like a lot of requirements with language, with time. Even for example, if you study here, the time that you studied counts as half for the application. So yeah, a lot of requirements, man. So that's probably why, although there are a lot big influx of foreigners coming to Poland, I think the ones that stay, it's like a lower, right?
Lower rate.
Yeah.
As because I spoke in one of my videos that people will just come here to get the carta bobeto and then they will just go to another country.
Yes, yeah. Unfortunately, I could be many reasons, right? It could be they cannot find jobs because it's also challenging to find jobs here, you know.
Especially now.
Especially now, yes.
With the advent of AI, people are
Exactly.
losing their jobs, people are suffering. Yeah, so you yourself are trying to pivot.
Yes, yeah. I'm trying to. I'm currently in logistics. I'm we call it supply chain optimization manager. So yeah, that's what I do at the moment. I used to be a data analyst. Now I'm doing this, but I want to pivot to more of a technical role, like data engineering roles and AI engineer, something like this.
Yeah,
Like yourself,
yeah,
right?
that's I think that's the future for now.
Yes,
We
exactly.
don't know like in 10, 5 years maybe something will like be the new standard, but for now it's really like AI engineer, prompt engineering is like the hot topic, LLMs,
Exactly.
agents. So yeah, if someone wants to come to Poland and he wants to find a job, like say not easy, but I see that there is a high demand for the like data engineers,
Yeah.
LLM engineers. I think that's a good thing to bring to Poland.
Definitely, and I think in many countries, right? Like, big, the more difficult it is, the more offers there will be in the market, right? So because it's not that easy to get to these positions, right? Because you have to study a lot of things. Maybe it's easier for some people who will come from IT backgrounds, but if you don't, then of course it's harder for you. Um, but one thing that you have to get in, like what I tell myself is that you need to adapt to the situations, right? You cannot just keep thinking that, okay, because I studied to be a psychologist, then I will be a psychologist for the rest of my life. No, you have to adapt, right? If what's demanding now in the market is IT engineers or AI engineers, then you can pivot, right? Like if you
Put in the work and the time,
exactly
you can learn any skill you want.
correct, yeah.
Yeah, speaking of learning, you yourself are almost C2 in Polish.
Well, I wish.
No, but you're very, very good, especially at higher communicative level. Can you tell me like how? Because we always talk about this, and you tell me that I studied this, I did this. So, can you give us like the process, how it took you from zero till like B2 or even C1? I think.
No, I wish I was like that. No, it sounds too good to be true. No, as everybody, I joined a school here, but it was after like 3 years in Poland when I realized that I actually need to learn something. I tried before in the beginning, didn't have the money, the means, or the time to do it because I was doing my master's. It's hard to combine, master's and something else
And family life.
and family life, right? So I postponed the decision, and then like 3 years later, I started taking lessons at a local school here in Poznan. It was really great. It's easy Polish. You can check it out. I can recommend it. And it was great. Like I had great teachers, great classmates. We learned from scratch from A0 up to B1. This is what I am now, actually B1.
No, he's
But
lying. He's B2, but just shy.
but I think what helps is to communicate, right? Even though you make mistakes, because we will, right? We are natives in languages, except for our own languages, right? Doesn't matter. You just communicate, right? If they get the message, then that's good, right? That's the whole purpose. Um, I also use like kind of applications like Duolingo. Maybe they work for some people, maybe they don't, but I used it. Watch movies and all the kind of things to improve my level, and also face the challenges on a day-to-day basis in Poland. So for example, if you need to go to a doctor, then speak Polish. Doesn't matter. If you go to the mechanic, then try to do it in Polish.
Like practice your craft.
Exactly. Yeah, just do it. Like, doesn't matter if you sound like a 2-year-old, trying to find your mommy. Doesn't matter. Just do it.
And you were practicing alone all the time. So because I know that you have classes like you online classes or
No, we were having like on-site classes. Yeah.
on-site classes. And then after you finish that, you go home and redo what you studied, or
Yes, not all the time. I think if I did that before, of course, my level will be higher. But yeah, usually I will, you have to do your homework as well, right? Like we're not kids anymore, but homework does help to improve your skills in anything. So yeah, you have to practice. Either you have to do homework, of course, study the grammar, which is the hardest topics in Polish. There are cases in Polish language, sorry, which we don't have in Spanish, for example. We don't have cases.
even in Arabic or English or
Exactly.
French.
Yeah, exactly.
How would you compare it to Chinese?
Oh, Chinese grammar is super simple, man. Super
Really?
simple. Yeah, that's why, the Chinese sound like it looks threatening. It looks like challenging because of the characters, because the way it sounds, because it combines a lot of very similar sounds and tones. But grammar is super simple, man. You just add a simple word at the end of a sentence, and that means you did it in past. You add another word, and that means that you did it in the future. That's all. Yeah.
So you're saying that Chinese is easier than Polish?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh my God! You see, guys, that's why I'm struggling with it.
Yeah. If you were learning Chinese, you will learn it by now for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because when you see how they write, it's different than Latin.
Yeah, but they do have pinyin, which is the using Latin alphabet to write the Chinese characters. So that's how foreigners learn. That's how you learn to pronounce those characters. Because, for example, if you write the character for I, wo, then you can also write it with Latin letters like WO. So that's how you learn to pronounce it. Yeah, it makes it simple, but the grammar, yeah, it's really good. It's really
It's
easy.
really good. It's easier than
Yeah, easy.
Polish. So maybe I should start learning Chinese.
Yeah.
So, which is more enjoyable, learning Chinese or Polish?
I will say it depends on what you like, right? I was more into the Chinese culture before. For me, it was a pleasure to learn, and it was, the feeling that you watch something or you listen to a song for the first time, you don't understand anything, and then after you study it, and then you come back to the same song or movie for after some time, and you understand this feeling of achievement, is huge. And I had it in Chinese. I had it sometimes in Polish as well. When I just arrived to Poland, I watched a movie, the ones on Netflix, and I didn't understand anything. I needed subtitles. Then after 6 years in Poland and learning Polish, I go back to this movie, and of course I don't understand the whole thing, but huge part of this, and it's a huge, a big feeling of achievement. So about enjoying, I think it depends on the person, right? Yeah.
How would you say the community in Poland and in China, especially for foreigners? Was there a big community of Colombians in China, or it's more in Poland?
There were a lot of Colombians in China doing business. They're doing a lot of
Significant number.
yeah, well, wouldn't say like a huge, big numbers, but yeah, maybe in the city where I was working and living, there were like Guangzhou. This is the city where the Canton Fair takes place. This is the biggest fair in the world.
What's the name of the city again?
Guangzhou.
Guangzhou. Okay.
It's in the south.
South.
It's the capital of the Canton province. Yeah, it's a huge city, like 20 million plus people. And there were a lot of Colombians because of they were working like sourcing products to Colombia. So yeah, and here when I arrived, there weren't that many Colombians. But right now, because of what we talked before about Colombians not needing visa for Europe, yeah, there are a lot of Colombians coming, working in different jobs, factories, offices, you name it. Yeah.
Understandable. And did you face any racism in China?
I wouldn't say racism. Um, well, Chinese they just focus on their business, on their own business, on their own life, and they don't really care. Of course, if you start listening, when you learn Chinese and you start listening to their conversations, you can feel like, oh, okay, they are talking about me, and it's not that nice. But I guess it's the same everywhere, right? Um, but one thing that I like about them is they just, what I said, they just focus on making money. They just focus on their own business. That's it.
That's all.
That's all.
They
Yeah.
have one goal is to make China great,
Yeah,
and they
exactly.
do it. Yeah.
There is a guy from Spain who he writes books and he has a YouTube channel as well. He says that the China and the U.S. are more similar than what people will imagine, because they are just like Americans. Like these two countries are very similar. Like people are just minding their own business. They just want to make money. That's it.
But the only difference is, I think that in the West, they they have this mentality of individualism.
Yeah.
They only care about themselves, me, me, me. But if you contrast it to China they have like this community. They need to work for greater good. The greater good is making China the best.
Yeah, they also focus a lot on making their own families. So like, it looks like from the outside that China it's like a very, I don't know, like a country where, as you said, they all work from the same goal. But when you see it from the inside, they are working for their own families. Like they want to make their families the richest. And when everybody wants to make their families the richest, the whole country becomes rich.
It starts from the family. That's why
Yeah.
they call it the nuclear family.
Exactly. So before they have this one-child policy, which we all know about, and it was great. It worked at the time. It wasn't great, but it served its purpose. Now they want to have more kids, um, because they realized that yeah, they were bringing problems with the natality rates and all that. But now people are trying to even like have small families because they can support Like the less number of kids you have, the more you can support them and the more you can push them and provide them with the best things in the market. Like best education, best tutors, best clothes, everything. So they focus a lot on nuclear families to make them richer.
Yeah, and I read the book. It's by a French author called Frédéric Delavie, and he speaks about this kind of like the community that is in Asia and the individualism that is in Europe. He says that this mentality stems from the rice cultivating
Mm-hmm.
because in Asia they have rice, and in order to cultivate rice, it needs a lot of irrigation system. Hence, you need a lot of help from the community.
Right.
You can, if you think, if you contrast it to Europe, where wheat is more popular, you can just do it with family. That's all. You don't necessarily need help from the community. You don't need organization. You can do it just in family and in your own plot of land.
Right.
So that developed that sense of individuality.
Mm-hmm.
But in China, no. China is always community, and also when you were saying about they copy stuff,
Yeah.
copy stuff, but they copy it for themselves, so they can make China better.
Yeah, and also to make it better, right? So before they were copying, I don't know, Tesla. You can claim that they were BYD was copying
Yeah,
Tesla. I don't know the whole story. Maybe they were at the beginning, but now you can see they are competing to the same level. Even sometimes you see
better.
BYD can have better models than Tesla, because first they copy, but then they improve it, and now you can see that our American and Western companies copying them. That you can see, for example, Mercedes or BMW creating models on like car models only for China, for the Chinese market, copying from BYD, for example. So
It's huge.
yeah, so now you can see that, although they copy in the beginning, now Western companies are doing the same to them.
Yeah, because you copy, and at one point you can just innovate.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
you've seen so many patterns, and then you know, okay, I need to improve this because I didn't see it in the last model.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have like international companies, they have their factories in China.
Yeah, it's a huge
just-
market.
Yeah, so you can just copy his behavior.
Yeah, it's a huge market. They don't have the same amount of bureaucracy as we have in the West. Yeah, companies are faster to create there. They have the same language, right, across all the regions in China. Of course, they have this main language, um, main language, let's call it, 普通话, which is Mandarin, Chinese Mandarin. Of course, you will find regions with different languages and dialects, but everybody knows Chinese, everybody knows Mandarin.
It unifies them.
Exactly, it unifies them. So that's why when you see, like, that's why Western companies are trying so hard to get into this market, because the amount of people, and they are a middle class country, right? So I mean, they were a poor country in the last century, but now they're richer, so people have more purchase power, they can buy more stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I think they're going to overtake US. It will take some years, but for sure they will, because they produce the best product at a cheaper price and a larger scale.
Yeah, and if you think about it, it actually is beneficial for everybody, because if you consider, for example, before, if you wanted to buy any gadget, any product, let's say 20 years ago, it was super expensive, right? Like a camera or a phone or anything, you had to save for a year. Well, it depends on where you were living, but and your salary, but you have to save for a long time. Nowadays, because of the production in China, the scale of production they have, everything that we have, all the gadgets, all the stuff that we import from China, they're super cheap because of this. So thanks to them, is that most of products are cheaper nowadays and more available for everybody. Like everybody's wearing. I remember when I got to China, in Colombia, nobody was wearing these earplugs, right? Or smartwatches or smartphones, and yeah, the smartphones, they were smartphones, but it was hard to get to them. In China, everybody was using them. For example, they have WeChat, this application for paying or for communicating, for doing anything actually in China. We didn't have anything like that in Colombia, for example. Now,
Something that unified
exactly,
everyone.
for payments, for global payments, for you know to like to have a cashless society, right? They had it in China. So like 10 years ago when I was in China and I saw that for the first time, I was amazed that I didn't need to carry cash. Nowadays it's like a, yeah, it's normal for everybody.
Normal for yeah.
Yeah, but 10 years ago it was shocking.
Yeah, and let's stick to WeChat because it's interesting that in China you can only use WeChat to do everything. It's like they blocked Facebook, they
Yeah.
blocked the major social media.
Yeah.
How are you communicating with your family?
Well, back then I didn't know about VPNs,
Wow.
but people who were living, like foreigners who were living in China, they told me like, okay, there is a thing called VPN which you can connect to, and you can download applications like Facebook or Instagram, and you can communicate to your family. So at the beginning it was hard because I didn't know. I asked them to download WeChat, and we were communicating through WeChat.
Yeah.
But then later I downloaded VPN. Actually, I couldn't do it in mainland
They
mainland
blocked
China.
it.
Yeah,
Wow.
you don't have access to the app stores, so you cannot download anything, right? So I had to go to Hong Kong, download everything,
Come
connect
back.
to VPNs, and then come back to mainland, and yeah, and it worked.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
crazy, man.
yeah.
Like China is the embodiment of like surveillance capital city. Like, wow. Do you feel that you were like surveilled all the time, or
I wouldn't say that, but maybe nowadays things change. I left a long time ago, 6 years ago. I know there are many theories about like they're tracking people having this credit score, not credit score, but social score.
just go? Yeah.
Yeah. I see that it works in some cities and not in the entire city, but some areas of the specific cities, big cities, tier one that they call tier one cities. Um, Maybe, yeah, that's the case in cities like Shenzhen or Shanghai, but not in the entire country because it's just difficult to apply. On the one hand, they with data, we are working with data. With data, you are able to do so many things to help the community, right? To prevent like fires, for example, or crime, or so many things that you can help the community with. Of course, it also feels like that you don't have privacy and you're exposed the whole time to the government.
To be honest, as long as you have social media apps, you forget about privacy.
Exactly. So people in the West complain like, okay, like they are tracking my every movement and everything, but you're publishing yourself to social media,
Like,
right?
what do you expect?
Yeah,
You just accept
yeah, exactly.
without reading
Yeah,
the
terms and conditions.
yeah, accept.
Yeah. So basically, you're doing the same. Like nowadays, it's very hard that you are like off the grid. Like it's very hard to like people don't carry phones with them, or even in your phone you have the localization on, and people know where you are. And it's the same in China, but more structure and for, in my opinion, for a greater purpose. But yeah, there could be different opinions about this. So
Yeah, like this reminds me of something. There is this like saying in anime. I'm not sure if you watch anime. Like I used to watch them like years ago. It's called one for all. That's like when I heard that the term one for all, it always reminds me for China because one is working for the whole.
yeah, yeah. I think it's true, man. I think they have this race, the hen race, like 600 million plus people. So they share the same culture, the same ethnicity. So yeah, they are working for one purpose, right? For the same purpose, and then uh, with this, they are like while getting to this goal, they are all getting richer, right? So it's good for everybody.
And would you say like it was easier to get the residency card in China, like faster than Poland,
No,
or
you need a
complicated?
sponsor there. So it's very similar, to be honest. You need a sponsor in order to apply for a working visa. Um, so you need a company that yeah, provides all documents and everything for you. So that was my case. Um, yeah, but it's very similar. The processes maybe here it takes longer because the amount of application, or I don't know, the capacity of the system to process that many foreigners. And now after the war in Ukraine, we have huge amount of Ukrainians coming to Poland, and the processes became even
Lengthier.
yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Would you would you think Are you thinking of going back to China maybe?
I will,
Or you crossed that from your mind?
I would love to be honest. I don't know what's gonna happen in the future, but if I had a chance, I think I will go back. I've seen that before my concern was about pollution. Yeah, cities used to be very polluted, but I've seen that they really worked on this. They are I think the biggest the country how to put it. So they are the country that are generating the highest amount of clean energy in the world.
Right now?
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
ironic, yeah.
yeah.
They have the biggest companies on earth and they
Yeah, yeah, it's because they have to, right? They were building their economy on, pollution, polluting their cities. Thanks to this, they decided that okay, it's time to actually do something about this, and they have now. What I've seen so far in articles and news is that they have cleaner skies. They are producing a lot of clean energy, wind and solar. So I think it could be good in the future.
it's very interesting, man.
Yeah.
Because you are also like not planning, but you're exploring the possibilities of you going to maybe Spain.
Yeah, that would be good. Like I said, I'm open to any opportunities. Personally, I think that you need to adapt to any circumstance. So if you personally see that you and your family will be better in a certain location, then just pack and move, right?
Mm.
Um, I personally believe that this is important, that you're flexible and you're able to move whenever you feel like you'll be better. Yeah,
Or do you think you're flexible now with your family because you have big responsibility,
of
especially for
course.
your kid because he's just a child?
Yeah, of course. No, it's harder. It's harder, of course, to move now. Like as you said, I have to think about my child. I have to think about my wife. It's harder to organize all the details to move to a new country. Um, so it's harder, but I think it's still possible. It's still possible if you consider and you do the math and you see that the numbers are better in another location and everything is good is better. So I think
Just
it's
go
possible.
for it.
Yeah.
What do you think about Canada? Because in Canada they have this thing for highly skilled individuals.
Hmm.
If you pass like the criteria, like you get some like total number of criteria, let's say I think it's 600 or something, you are qualified to get the permanent residency card.
Hmm.
And then if you live in Canada for 3 years, you get their passport.
Wow. Okay.
So have you thought about this?
I haven't considered, but I'll check it out for sure. I think it could be a good option. You have to see other criterias apart from the documents. Like job market. You need to consider safety for your kids. You need to consider whether the weather is good for you and your family, the culture of the country, if you like it, and if you feel like you want to raise your kid in such culture. You know, so I think documents are important for sure, but there are other criteria that you need to also consider, especially when you have a family. Yeah.
And would you imagine sending your kid alone to China? Send him 3 years and forget.
I have to shave his mustache first. Yeah, no, I mean, I've seen videos of like white kids in China learning Chinese, speaking fluent Chinese, and I dream about this. Like my child would do the same. It's a safe country, and the education system is really good. But I've seen a lot of local Chinese complaining about this, about the competition. There is this exam.
Always.
Yeah, this is Gaokao, which it translates a big exam, and this is the exam that they take at the end of the, let's say, high school to enter the university. And depending on the score, then you are able to choose the best universities or the best careers majors. um, and the competition is really hard, because there are a lot of them. So
The best of the best.
the best of the best, yeah. And like it also puts a lot of pressure on the kids. So I want to be somewhere in between, where my kid is of course very smart and capable of things, but I don't want him to stress and to be, like depressed when he's 10 years old, let's say. So
It's too early for depression,
yeah,
man.
just wait. You will have your problems later.
Yeah, yeah. And if you have, if you can give only one advice to your kid, like maybe in the future, I'm sure he can watch this video. What's one advice you want him to?
I think that if he has to follow his dreams, you know. If he puts his mind to something, I'm sure he will achieve it. Doesn't matter if it looks impossible from the perspective of everybody. I think if he follow his dreams and he does the work, you know, he puts the he puts the effort on something, he will achieve it. So I want him to dream big, you know. I want everybody to dream big and actually move and do something. So more like dream, but stop dreaming and do it. You know?
Start doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. It's been a good
Thank you so
discussion.
much for
Thank
the
you so
invitation.
much for making time for me. Guys, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. And if you have any topics you want me to discuss, please leave them in the comment section. Thank you so much.